listen-only mode.
Welcome everyone to the Yash Enhanced Kitting overview. We're glad you could join us. We wanted to present today a little bit about the enhanced kitting that's available in Extended Warehouse Management. My name is Bill Fontaine, a pre-sales engineer with Yash Technologies, and I'm joined by our lead solutions architect for Extended Warehouse Management and Warehouse Management in ECC, Ram Yella. Ram, are you out there?
Yes, hi everyone.
Well, fantastic. Here's our quick agenda today. We'll talk very briefly about who Yash is, give an overview of the Extended Warehouse Management product, and then dive right into the Extended Warehouse Management kitting process, showing an overview of some of the transactions that you'll see. And then Ram will be executing a live demo for you with a handheld RF device. And then we'll talk a little bit about our rapid deployment solution and open it up for questions and answers. And by the way, during any point during this webinar, please feel free to open up, ask your questions in the questions tab in this GoToWebinar frame at any time. Thank you. So who is Yash? Well, we're coming up on our 20th anniversary. We're an American company founded in Moline, Illinois, and we've grown to over 3,500 people in that time frame. And those people are scattered around 27 offices on 5 continents. So it's a very global organization. We have our roots firmly planted in SAP soil, as indicated by this slide. Many different practices and also products. We're a reseller of SAP as well. Specifically, like I introduced Ram, he manages our warehouse management logistics practice for us. And this is to show you the breadth of that practice, anything from implementations, upgrades, global rollouts, and migrations. But let me quickly get into the EWM overview, just an overview of the product itself for anyone who may not be too familiar with it. It's a separate product from the ECC product, and it's in the supply chain execution platform family, where you'll also find SAP's transportation management and event management. So in that same product family is the Extended Warehouse Management product. I'm sure if you're on this webinar, you have a pretty good idea of the EWM solution and how it can automate and systematize the inventory that you have in your warehouse. So here's a common question, right? What's the difference between the warehouse management functionality that's in SAP ERP, the ECC product, and the Extended Warehouse Management product? Well, we're showing the differences here using a bit of a consumer report style comparison chart. I just wanted to focus your attention a little bit halfway down through that left-hand column where you'll see kitting. And we can say that kitting in ECC, warehouse management, is an area that doesn't have the depth that the Extended Warehouse Management platform provides. So that's what we're focusing on today, and you'll see the functionality, a lot of richness coming out of EWM. EWM now is up to version 9.2, very comprehensive functionality. There's some core processes that you'd expect to find in warehousing. Then there are the cross processes, things like cross-docking, labor management, and so on, and then a lot of supporting areas. Of course, RF and RFID enablement is one of those. So where Extended Warehouse Management really makes a difference, it's a role-based, built from the ground up to have rich functionality for all of your warehousing roles. You'll see our use of RF and barcode scanning, for example, in the demo by Ram. And it really gets to greater optimization of your inventory moves around the warehouse on top of all of the basic movement transactions that you'd expect and need in EWM. So let's talk about kitting specifically, and I have a couple of slides here that deal with the kitting process as an overview. And what we're going to show today is 3 flavors of kitting: kit to order, kit to stock, and reverse kitting. So, what's the reason here? Why is kitting such a big deal? Well, if you need to track the labor, effort, and therefore the cost of kitting operations because you have such a volume of kitting transactions going on, then you really need to kick it into the extended warehouse management product. In most cases, it may be a paper-driven process, or your employees may be learning simply by watching another employee perform the process, and you'll see how EWM's kitting really formalizes it for your employees. So let's talk about our first flavor here, our kit to order process. You'll see that the demand starts with the sales order, either in ECC or in CRM, and we'll play the role of a warehouse person. So we'll go around and pick the components that make up a kit, move it in step 3 to our kitting location, and then in step 4 we're going to go ahead and stage that material, and step 5 move into the goods issue. So what we're going to see here is our camera kit. So that is composed of a camera, the lens, and a memory card, a bundle, if you will. You'll see that we'll kit the products, we're moving them to a specific work center for assembly into a package, and then we're going to stage those products so that they're ready for goods issue. This is a bit of a diagram here that shows some of the interactions between your SAP ECC system, the ERP components, as well as how does it tie into the extended warehouse management. So you'll see the linkage points here are creating the delivery document, and that is the trigger that's fed into the EWM module. So here's a bit of the structure that you'll see. We have a camera kit material number with the sales bill of material shows the components that are in that kit, and then the sales order is created and saved. It creates a delivery in ERP, and as I said, that delivery document is the trigger for extended warehouse management. So that's what we will see in the demo. Thank you, Ram. Let's see this kit to order in process in the demo.
Thanks, Bill. So I'm going to show the system demo for the kit to order process. So as mentioned, the starting point is a sales order for this. So we have created a sales order already, and I'm going to just show the sales order here. So my sales order number is 1084. So this is the sales order I have in my ECC system. For demo purpose here, we are showing the ECC system, but in reality, EWM can be integrated with any ERP system. So once you have the order, so these are my components. So before creating the delivery, before anything pushed into the EWM, I'm going to show what is my workload in EWM and what is my stock. So currently, I'm showing my workload based on the queues. I have set up some queues based on picking and kitting operations. So if you look at I don't have any open orders in my inbound or outbound or kitting, because right now we just cleared it up, all the queues. Once we start creating the delivery in the ECC system, you see tasks created, warehouse orders created. At the same time, if I look at the stocks, now I'm going to show you the stocks for these components. So if you see, I have a quantity of 29 each for these products like camera, lens, and memory card. This is my total availability stock, and at the same time I have a physical stock of 29 quantity in the system. So now I'm going to my ECC and I'm creating a delivery for this. So deliver. So once I hit this delivery creation, this is going to be data is going to be pushed into the EWM system, and also we are automated some of the tasks, which creates the assigns the queues and creates the warehouse tickets, everything. So this is my ECC order. Now I'm going to show what is the order number or how does it looks like in EWM. This is my ERP document number. There are different ways you can find it. So because I just know the number, so this is my equivalent order for the outbound delivery in the EWM system, and these are the different tasks. So if I look at this, also created a couple of other tasks behind it automatically. It creates a called SAP EWM. It is called a VAS order. It's not the abbreviation. It's called a value added service, which is nothing but a kit order. Basically, this is the order which is having to make the kit. So now you saw this is the order pushed into EWM. Now if you go back and refresh my queues, see the kitting order is created. There is an open work order in the kitting queue. So you can further drill down and see what are the order details and you can further drill down. This is one order, warehouse order, where see it has multiple tasks, 3 tasks it's created. So EWM system creates like multiple tasks and bundled into one order depending on how much an operator can take. In this situation, I'm assuming like one operator can pick these 3 things and then move it to the packaging work center or kitting work center. So now you have these orders. So this is all done in the background. I'm just showing how system is behaving. The very next step after you create the outbound delivery in EWM, the picker can directly log on to his queue and start picking his the components. So here you can log on to the queue. Either you can scan if you have a dummy barcode, or you can just select what queue you are in. So automatically system says this is my warehouse order number, and here because these are the 3 small products, what I'm doing is I'm picking them into a tote, a bigger or a trolley. So this is my tote ID. Next. Once I hit next, system says, hey, go to this particular bin, pick these components. So this is my first product, camera, which is product number. Picker is going to walk to the bin. So at the bin 003, scan the bin number and scan the product number and confirm the quantity, and just I'm putting into my tote or my cart. Enter. The system is going to go to the next item. System says, hey, now you have to pick the next item, which is lens. Picker is going to walk to that particular bin and then select the component and product. And one thing you are seeing, these screens in EWM, these screens are very configurable, whereas if you look at in WM environment, these screens are very static. You need to have a code changes. But whereas in EWM, based on the activities and profiles, we can configure these the way business wants, or the way each different operations want. And this is my next item. I'm gonna scan my product number and quantity, and I'm picking this. Enter. So where I'm taking now, I picked all the components and I'm going to go put it into this trolley. I'm going to drop into a kit order where I have a work center. So I'm going to go there, kit order, drop it, drop the trolley there, and then finished. That's it. So at the end it says there is no work orders, there's no items to be left, but if you have more tasks to be completed, system automatically suggests the next one to be completed, next picking item for the operator. So this particular picker perform job is done. Now the components are in the work center. Just before moving on to the next operator, what he's going to do, I'm going to show what happened in the background in the system. So just I'm going to quickly show you the stocks. So if you refresh my stock screen, see you have now only 28 available. One of them is available in the kit order. It's been moved. So now the task of next person who is doing my kitting process, actual kitting process. This is the screen. This is the transaction where we have a work center to capture how much labor you are putting, how much materials you are putting. So my work center is called kit to order, and you can select like whatever the orders you wanted to see. If you can see not yet processed or in process or completed. So I'm going to select now not yet processed orders. So this is my order number, and there is a kit. These are the components I have. So when I click from here, we can configure system to print any of the labels you want to print. I think I have using all my sessions. So let me close this session so that you can see. So if you need to trigger any labels or any packaging instructions required for the operator to do, we can generate those. And once it is done, so user is going to select. Now I pick the particular items from the cart and I'm going to put them into a bigger box. So my box, I'm calling it as a carton. I'm taking a bigger carton and creating a handling unit, or you can call a license plate. This is my license plate, which I'm going to put all my kitting packaging, putting into this. And also at the same time, you select this trolley or whatever the component in trolley, and then say generate kits. So now the system is going to generate a kit called a camera kit, because this is based on your bill of material. You just drag and drop this camera kit into your packaging or your new handling unit or license plate, which you call for this. You assign this and save. So now this task of packaging is completed. Then the next step is somebody has to move from product from the kit work center to the staging area so that you can load them into the truck, and or the carrier can come and pick it up. So for that you have to close this to complete this here. So you select this and say complete the process step. Once I complete the process step, system automatically generate a new warehouse order or warehouse task to do the next step. This is your warehouse task. If you go back and see in my queues, if I refresh my queues again, you see now I have a item in the outbound queue, which is basically I'm staging it from here and putting into the staging area. So the other operator comes and scans his queue. So this queue will be an outbound queue. I'm scanning an outbound queue, and system says what to pick. So pick an order from here, and this is the tracking ID you have created. So you will be having a barcode. You just scan it. In this case, I don't have a barcode for this, and then drop where you have to drop it. So I'm going to drop this in the staging area or carrier picking area, wherever it is. You can set accordingly based on your operations and warehouse layout. So I think I did a wrong scan of the bin. That's why it is giving me an error. So let me try that again. Okay. GIF on white here. Let me just copy and paste. I think yeah. So now the outbound also completed. So if you go back and check, see your stocks, now my stock will be in the staging area. So once you do the goods issue for your product, So all these stocks will be depleted. So the final step is a goods issue. So I'm going to go find out again your delivery. This can be either a manual step or you can schedule the jobs for this. So do complete goods issue in the warehouse. This particularly at the same time it updates your ERP system, whether it is a ECC or some other ERP system. I go back and refresh, my stocks will be down from this area, it will be depleted. That's the end of the kit to order process. And back to you, Bill.
Okay, thank you, Ram. That was very comprehensive. Thanks for getting those camera kits put together for us. Next, what we wanted to talk about is to go into our kit to stock process. Sorry, I just want to go over the process flow. What we're going to see here, it's very familiar. It really starts at a different starting point. So we'll start with a forecast of our kits, and this may be due to a promotion, right? A springtime promotion or something that we need to put these kits together for. And then we'll go around, obviously, and the downstream process is very similar. We're adding another step where we're putting those kits away back into inventory so that they're available to be sold for a resulting goods issue and goods receipt. So thank you for staying with us. I know we have quite a few people on the webinar. Thank you for staying with us up to this point. So as a reward, everyone goes home with a virtual fruit basket today. This is our Yash springtime promotion, so that's what Ram is going to be putting together for us next. We have fruit baskets going through this process. Again, the steps and flow diagram shows some of the connection points between the ECC system and EWM. The thing to take note of here is we're taking inventory out of stock with the pick process. We're moving again to the kitting work center for assembly and packing, and then we have a put away transaction as well, which you can see in this process flow diagram. So there we go. Ram, if you could put a couple of fruit baskets together for us.
Sure. Thanks, Bill. So now coming to this process, it's particularly your kitting, core kitting process will be same, but in a business functionality wise, when you compare with the kit to stock and kit to order, in kit to order you just make the kits whatever the customer order on demand basis. Here you are going to, in the kit to stock, you are going to pre-build the kits and do that. So in our example, as Bill mentioned, so we are making a fruit gift baskets. So before even moving into the creation of a kit order, I'm going to show what are the stocks I have. So I have these components. I have 3 components: apples, pears, and oranges. If you look at, I have 2 cases of each. Basically, each case is 5 pounds, and this is the case ID. And if you look at my finished product, which is a kit assemblies, fruit baskets, I have 15 of them. So I'm making like another like 5 kits, fruit baskets here. So the first step is you have to create a kit order. And again, kit order here can be created in 2 different methods as mentioned in the previous slides. Either you can trigger it from your ERP system, or you can create a kit order directly in the EWM system. That is the biggest advantage, because if you are doing it in ECC kits are done just using the production order process. There is no standalone functionality. So I'm going to create a kit order here. Just selecting new. This is my kit order type. This is my packaging specifications. Here I have to mention how do I want it to, package my products. There are some specific instructions. It's a master data. one-time setup. I'll show how this impacts, how does this simplifies your tasks when in the next steps. This is my kit product, and quantity I'm making 5 eaches. Sorry, before saving this again, I'm going to show the queues, how much workload I have in the queue. So it will be like a blank. So I don't have any workload. So once I save this, and go back and refresh my workload, see I see one kitting order, warehouse order for kitting. Again, this will have 3 tasks because we have 3 components. And in this case, it may be like, one operator picking or multiple operators picking, let's say, because for now, I'm assuming there's only one operator picking these 3 together and dropping at the work center. It may be like sometimes if you have it like, big pallets, like you are making 3 big pallets, and it can be, you can set it up the way you want it for your business. And now I'm going to go back into login into my kitting queue. I'm going to picking to a license plate. My license plate number here is a little different than early on. 2. And next, the system is guiding into where to go and pick what components. So this will be the first one is apples, bin 01010. I'm going to go and scan the bin number, and then just scan your case ID, and you're also scanning the material and quantity. Again, here I'm scanning material and quantity, but this is optional. We can set it up the screen however you want. Scanning trolley 2, enter, and go pick another case of peers, which is 228 2010 bin number. Scan the bin and scan the case, scan the product ID, quantity, confirm the quantity, and scan your destination. Then the third product, which is oranges, a case of oranges. I'm going to pick 0310. Scan my case ID, product ID, confirm the quantity, and confirm my license plate or wherever I'm picking in. And then this is my where I'm dropping. I pick it from here and I'm dropping in the kit to stock area. And there's my bin where whatever I'm dropping. Now my picking tasks are completed. So similarly, the stocks will be moved in the back end. So I'm going on to the next step where the actual packing is done or the kits are built. So in this case, I have set it up as a different work center, kit to stock, but again, it can be a one work center or it can be a multiple work centers doing the same task. You can set it up the way you want. So if you see these components are automatically showing, these cases are automatically showing in this particular bin in the kitting area. So here I'm going to show a little more details. So the key thing in most of the time in kit to stock is, you want to capture how much time I'm spending or your operators are spending. So here VAS status, I'm going to start now. So the time starts kicking in, start time. So this can be done in case of kit to order also, but I did not show, but it's an optional entity. If you want to do both the places, we can do. Again, you can, if you want to print any labels here, we can print the labels. And now the first step is I have to unpack these cases and start consuming the components. So go to the components tab. This is my handling unit. the bit handling unit, just say post HUs. I just need to save. Once I start, I have to save, so that select the trolley in post HUs. So whatever the components picked and dropped by cases picked and dropped by the picking operator, now the kitting operator just consumed them. So now the next step is building the kits. So go post kits. Here is how I'm going to go pack here, start packing. So select the gift basket. So there are multiple ways you can do it. You can do manually pack, create 111. That will be a more work in the system. That's where your packaging instructions, which maintained in the system, comes into picture. I just select this, boom, hit this button. System automatically did the packaging based on my packaging instructions, which you set it up. So here I set it up as my packaging instructions as I need, like, each case, gift basket, I need to have its own tracking ID or license plate number with 1 kg of, 1 pound of apples and 1 pound of oranges and 1 pound of pears, and 5 gift baskets going into another license plate or smaller pallet kind of stuff. So that's how system automatically creates them in the back end based on your packaging instructions. And that can be set it up whatever the way you want. There are a lot of options available in setting the packaging instructions. So now click back here. So come to the post. So this is the new pallet number or a license plate number which was for these products. Select this and post HUs. Once I do the post HUs, you will see those are finished products available. That particular gift baskets are available here. So this is my gift baskets. Now select the parent level license plate and say complete process step. Once it is done. So at this point, like if you have any labels printed, you slap the labels and we can set all those things and save. Upon save, system here automatically creates the next task. What is the next task after you built your all kits and ready in the kitting work center? You have to take them back and put it in your warehouse. So that's the task created. So I'll show you now the task. So if you see this, now it's created an inbound task. Basically, we are calling this as the inbound task because you are putting the stocks. It's similar to the put away. You can name them any way which you want. And this is the warehouse task. So now that it's almost completed, but there's one final step left here is you start recording the time. So I have to close the time also. I have to say this is my end of kitting process completed. So here you have different options. Here I'm saying end without any variances. So that means I took exactly 15 pounds of total product, and my output is also 15 pounds, which each one is a gift basket of 3 pounds. If you have any quantity variances, we can capture those quantity variances also. And once you hit end process and save, your kitting process is completed here. And the next step is the third operator can come and scan into their inbound queue and just pick it from kitting area, put it away into your warehouse bins. And again, here you can do manual put away or system guided. Here we set it up as system guided so that operator doesn't need to search where is my empty bin, where do I need to do. So this is the source HU 372 system create. So just scan the barcode 900372. Sorry, it's the wrong scan. Have a lot of barcodes printed at the same place. So now system is saying put into this bin 0101007. Just the operator goes there, scans that particular bin, enter. save, completed. So once this is completed, if you go back and check your stocks, so earlier we have like only 3 kits for the final gift basket. We search now, have a 4th gift basket, ID 372, this is the one. At the same time, if I check for the components, the components are depleted. Earlier I had like 2 cases of each of these products. Now I have only 1 case of each left. And that's the end of the kit to stock process. And the bill. So Phil, are you there?
Yep, thank you, Ram. Excellent work, thank you. We just saw Ram finishing up the kit to stock. And our next process, the next flavor of kitting is reverse kitting. So as you'd expect, it's the disassembly of those kits that we put together. You know, there's a need, probably we forecast too high the quantity of kits. So we'll simply run through the reverse kitting process. And what you're going to see then is in this, the step and flow diagram, you're going to see the inbound delivery documents and the put away components. And again, the connection there is with the delivery into the ECC system. So what this looks like is we have, again, the VAS order type is the KTR, so we're going to take this reverse kitting, and it's going to create, as soon as we create this order type, it's going to create for us the picking tasks and the put away tasks automatically for us. And if we follow this warehouse request 2935, that's going to be our trigger for the putting, for the picking process rather. So up on the top, you'll see our picking task 2935. We're following that. It results in a particular warehouse order that ends in 3150. So the bottom half of the screen here, where we have our RF environment represented. So on the RF environment, the picking person will go to the queue called kitting and go ahead and start looking for those warehouse orders that require any activity. We'll see exactly, it's asking us where to go, what the source is and what the destination is. So we're going to move this to our kitting 3 workstation. And once there, you can see, you know, something very familiar here, the warehouse monitor, again, as you've seen before. It shows us exactly what's in that kit, what the components are. It's giving us our activities and our items in that. So we select it on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, we'll see the execution of the reverse kitting operation. And so that's where we process the disassembly of this kit. Once it's disassembled, what we have is a put away task. So we're going to disassemble it. We're going to put it into some kind of a handling unit or a tote. And so I'm back to, on the right-hand side, I'm back to my RF device as a warehouse runner or operator. It's giving me a nice guided procedure here. It's telling me exactly where to pick these up from, what the source bin is, the kit-stock. So go ahead and pick this handling unit up from there, bring it over to the destination bin, and go ahead and put it away. After that's done and it's saved, that will trigger the goods issue and the goods receipt being posted. So back to my desktop system, maybe acting as a warehouse supervisor and closing out these processes for a financial reconciliation here. So that's the whole summary of a reverse kitting process for us. And what I'd like to do now is just switch gears and talk about how to get this actually implemented as quickly as possible into your company. So Yash has introduced and we make available this rapid deployment solution for extended warehouse management. Very comprehensive, as you can see, covers the inbound processing, outbound processing, all of the internal operations, reporting, includes RF support as well. And we have two different sizes of this. We have a basic scope, and then on the right-hand side you'll see the extended scope of this RDS offering. You'll see, of course, a different implementation duration for both of those, and some of the biggest difference for the extended scope RDS is that it adds such things as cross-docking, yard management, catch weight management as well into the functionality for you. A good way to get started with this process is we have an assessment study. We can go in, perform, through a bit of discovery with you, work through your current processes, create your future processes and your as-is state, work out the deployment options with you. So this assessment really only takes a couple of weeks, very much interactive with you, working through what you want your future state to be. So that's a great place to start. We'll end up with a nice project implementation roadmap, as well as some nice value engineering report for financial justification for this study. We can get started with that at your direction. So thank you for joining us today on this view of kitting. I want to make sure that you're aware of a couple of other future webinars that we're holding that Ron will be developing for you. The part 4, the fourth one will be optimization. So, of course, in extended warehouse management, you've got a tight fitting, no wasted space in pallets and cases. Part 5 will be the integration of production with extended warehouse management. In part 6, we're going to show you all about cross-docking. So that's it for our EWM Kitting webinar.